It's now been a full decade since the Vancouver Olympics, and I vividly remember three things from that time. Sidney Crosby scoring that overtime goal, Yoona Kim giving the performance of a lifetime, and, oh yeah, streetcars. Yes, for a brief moment in 2010, you could travel from Cambie Street to Granville Island for free using fancy streetcars from the future, also known as Brussels. It was all part of a pilot project called the Olympic Demonstration Line, and it saw 550,000 riders over 60 days until it was never seen again. So, what happened to it? So, what happened to the Olympic demonstration line? Well, I'll show you. There it is. Well, there it is. Yeah, I chose a really great time of the year to film this story, but anyways, as you can see, today those tracks are very, very empty, and they've been like that for the last 10 years. But that doesn't mean we forgot about it. You see, the city of Vancouver has actually looked into bringing a streetcar back to these train tracks many times before. And when you look into their plans, you quickly realize that this Olympic demonstration line was really just the tip of the iceberg. The city of Vancouver has been considering a streetcar route from Granville Island all the way to Waterfront Station, with future plans to extend that line to Stanley Park and Yaletown. And we're just getting started. There's another plan for a streetcar line going all the way down to South Vancouver following the Arbutus Greenway. And it looks like this could be a pretty easy win. The tracks are already there and a lot of the groundwork has already been done. Ever wonder why East 1st Avenue in Olympic Village is so wide? It's because the city has planned for this streetcar to run down the middle of it. Now, these streetcars would be a big change to public transit in Vancouver. Other than the SkyTrains, most of our transit here relies on the buses. So, what do these streetcars have to offer? Well, streetcars can carry more passengers than buses, and as long as their tracks are separated from the roads, they can be quite a bit faster too. Now, they're not SkyTrain fast, but they also tend to cost a lot less. Most SkyTrain projects cost billions of dollars, but the first leg of this streetcar line was estimated to cost just $102 million in 2005. But for the city of Vancouver, it's clear that this project is more than just about moving people. In that 2005 study, the city's case for building a streetcar line includes fostering economic growth and supporting tourism, as well as helping revitalize neighborhoods like the downtown east side and Chinatown. The study also goes on to say what I imagine we're all thinking. Streetcars are just cooler. Or as the report puts it, smoother rides, easier access, and better viewing often translate into more riders due to the increased level of passenger comfort. Sounds pretty great, right? So why hasn't the city of Vancouver brought back the Olympic demonstration line? Well, it's because it's not their decision to make. Who makes that decision? God. I'm kidding. It's TransLink, our transportation authority for the Metro Vancouver area. If we do bring back the streetcar, they would be the ones to operate it. And TransLink's response has been a hard pass. At the end of that 2005 streetcar study is a letter from TransLink stating,
"The downtown streetcar would appear to be a lower priority for regional transportation funds, given the needs elsewhere in the city."
I'll admit, I was a bit disappointed to hear this. I mean, seriously, TransLink, a gondola to SFU is totally on the table, but a streetcar in Vancouver where the train tracks already exist and you're saying no thanks? But I looked into it and I think TransLink has a point. First off, there's already a transit option that takes you from Waterfront Station to Granville Island. The 50 bus. It comes every 15 to 20 minutes and it's overcrowded just 1% of the time, so there's really no need right now for a larger streetcar. But second, and more importantly, the streetcar just wouldn't be that fast. According to the 2005 study, it would move at just 18 kilometers an hour, barely faster than the bus. And when you take into account the differences in their routes, the streetcar would actually take longer than the 50 bus to get from Waterfront Station to Granville Island, 17 minutes versus 11 minutes. As much as I like this streetcar, it seems like it wouldn't really be much of a transit solution for this area. But it's also clear that its proponents don't just see the streetcar as a transit solution, they see it as an economic solution, one that would bring more tourists to Granville Island and bring new life and development to the neighborhoods it runs through. But I'll be honest with you, that's a much riskier strategy. First of all, those neighborhoods along the streetcar line that the study mentions revitalizing are gentrifying areas where changes have been really controversial in the past. But even if redeveloping these areas was easy, there's still no guarantee that it would actually happen. A number of studies have shown that new streetcar lines don't always result in new buildings. Development economics is just not that simple. But ultimately, I think we're making a big assumption here that a lot more people will choose to take public transit, even if it's slower, because they have a nicer vehicle to ride. And that's not exactly true. I remember when I first moved back to Vancouver, I was so excited to take the SkyTrains. But after 10 days, 60 days, a year, well, now I'm staring down at my phone like everyone else. I still take the SkyTrain because it's the fastest way downtown, but I honestly wouldn't go out of my way to use it. And that's a lesson many cities are learning the hard way. There are many examples of streetcars across North America that were constructed under this same premise and are now struggling to attract enough users, some even after offering rides for free. And don't get me wrong here, streetcars are very much a transit solution that can work really well under the right circumstances. But at the end of the day, people take transit because it's a useful service, because it's reliable, convenient, and fast. I think that's the truth regardless of whether you're on the roads or on tracks. And the more we forget that, the more we run the risk of building a transit service that's just bells and whistles.